Claire O'Brien with AAMVA, and we're here with our new chair of the board, Stacey Stanton from Arizona. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you, Claire.
So, Stacey, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in AAMVA.
I first became aware of AMPA when I was a member of the county auto license function in Arizona. Some of my colleagues on the Department of Transportation team started talking about AMVA. I'm like, well, what is AMVA? And so I was able to go to one of the AMVA conferences on the East Coast. I think it was in Virginia at the time. And that was my first exposure to AMVA, and it was terrific. The individuals that I got to meet and network with and the subjects that were discussed were things that were immediately relevant to my everyday life, even though I wasn't within a state DOT system. So that was kind of the first, and it was like, you know, having a bite of candy. You want more, you want more. I transitioned over to the state side of business, and then AMVA quickly became a way of life for me. It didn't matter if I was in customer service as an administrator, if I was in policy doing legislation. When I moved up to deputy director and then director, AMVA was relevant to every day of my professional life. My involvement really started probably about the year 2000. I had just really given birth to my daughter, Allie, and her first conference was Minneapolis, Minnesota. She was 3 months old and quickly became the AMVA mascot, and she traveled everywhere and had a great time. So while she was enjoying the sights and scenes, I was enjoying the opportunities to engage with the partners from our jurisdictions, the partners from industry, the AMVA team, and we had so many different opportunities, so many different projects to work on over the years. I was involved in government affairs early on, and those were the days when we started talking about DLID and standardization. Betty Sirian really took the lead with that, and then we morphed into NMVIDIS, and NMVIDIS has occupied our life, and SIDLIS, and it's just been a day-to-day engagement with AMVA, and it's terrific. It doesn't matter what I need or what any of my colleagues need. We reach out to the AMVA team and you provide what we need, or we reach out to our industry partners. They provide us the information, and the value that comes from the jurisdictional sharing just can't be, you can't equivocate it. You simply can't. So it's been terrific.
Great. How would you describe what AMVA is to someone who's unfamiliar with the organization?
AMVA is a resource. AMVA is a support. AMVA is a grassroots organization consisting of a very strong base of volunteers at the jurisdictional level, volunteers at the industry level who engage, and it's an opportunity to share best practices, to talk about implementation and systems and legislation, and it is a solid resource. You don't need to reinvent any wheel because it's very likely someone has already started working on it, if not already done it. So you just need to reach out there, ask the question, and the AMPA team is fantastic about immediately giving a response. And it's a fantastic resource.
So we just got back from our annual international conference where you officially took over as chair. How would you describe the community and the sense of community at AMVA?
Sense of community can't be beaten. It was kind of a joke. I was actually in the rotation to become chair a number of years ago. Had some personal issues that involved me needing to step down. So to be able to step back into rotation and be sworn in North Carolina was a personal accomplishment that I honestly didn't know for certain I'd have a chance to achieve. So as I pointed out to a couple of my colleagues who are still engaged with the AMPA community, some of them still as administrators, others who are industry partners, you know, I pointed out to them and they pointed out to me, it's about time. The great thing, doesn't matter how much time has passed, and so I've been involved with the group for 12 plus years now. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. It is a constant community. We may move on within our professional lives. We may move to different agencies. We may move from state into private sector. None of that matters because the engagement is so fresh, and it's kind of like greeting an old friend. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've seen somebody. You know, I see you at an engagement, Claire, and it's like, hey, Claire, how you doing? What's going on? And it's the hugs, and it's the welcome, and it's like, what are you working on? What can we help you with? What are the best practices that you're engaged with? What can we share? And it's more than community. It's a family. And it's a family that is there through thick and thin.
What are some of the goals that you have now that you are chair for AMPA?
When I gave my comments in North Carolina, I talked about the 80 years of AMVA and the 80 years of transformation. And I think that that's really key for all of the jurisdictions, for everyone engaged in AMVA. Our business has morphed so many times over the decades. There is very little predictability in terms of our day-to-day. I'm asked to strategize, what is MVD going to look like in 5 years? There are days where it's difficult to tell what it's going to look like tomorrow. And I think that's an experience that most of the jurisdictions engage in. We have to be able to transform. We have to be fluid. And I think we've proven that we can do that. So my goal is to really focus on transformation and helping AMVA, having the board help and the community help position us to be prepared for the next decade. We have so many exciting things that we're working on. We have NIMVITAS. We're working on that with Department of Justice. I was just in and had some talks with Justice. That's an exciting opportunity. That has to be sustainable. So we've got a very big challenge there. It's a system that is necessary for the states, for our law enforcement partners. AMVA is the operator. We need to be able to sustain that. So building a strong future for NIMVITAS. SIDLess modernization. Proud to say that Arizona just became the 30th state to engage in modernization. My team back there is like, finally we can breathe a little bit. Good news, but we still have 20 more jurisdictions that need to follow and become modernized. And then what are the next steps with SIDLess? Because we know that a modernization is only good for a certain period of time. So positioning ourselves to be prepared for that next modernization. Is it going to be funded? Are we going to have to fund it? What is the financial model and how are we prepared for that? State to state. Chairman Robertson had done a yeoman's job in really engaging in those discussions and really helping to drive the contract towards conclusion. Just got word today that the contract should be on its way here, and so we'll be affixing signatures and executing that contract soon. So state to state and the rollout is going to be just tremendous. An opportunity for Philippe and team and the states involved to show how great we are at implementing those kinds of systems and the future with state to state. I mean, to think about what that's going to mean for state to state communication and verification of drivers and authentication of credentials, it just has so much potential, and I think it's really going to compel us into a new realm, and others are going to be excited when they see what it has to offer. So we've got SIDLess, we've got NIMVITAS, we've got state to state, e-titling, the idea of a vehicle life cycle administration. That has been kind of a dream out there for a number of us for years. Well, we now have a working group that's working on that, engaged with jurisdictions, with industry partners, with federal partners. Eventually, that group is going to give us the base to make electronic transmissions and make things all the more transparent. And so when we have a resident from Michigan who's coming to Arizona, hopefully I won't need to really reach out to that customer. We can handle the title transfer and that person will have an Arizona transfer without needing to come into our office. It's just so exciting, and I think it really reflects what the nature of day-to-day life is these days. There isn't much time for face-to-face opportunity. What can we handle electronically? What do we need to maintain as a brick and mortar base within our businesses? I think those are questions that the jurisdictions really need to answer. What is the appropriate balance between e-government, between brick and mortar state facilities or operations, and between contracted opportunities with third-party agents or private entities or counties? What is the balance that makes us all successful and allows us, perhaps most importantly, to give our customers the biggest bang on their return?
Well, it sounds like you have quite a busy year ahead of you.
I think so.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us
Claire.
today, and good luck with your year as chair.
Thank you very much.
Stanton.
Thank you. Thank you.